Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to the mid-morning talk with me, Sadia Ransedi. Next, we have Brother Edriss Khamissa, who is going to walk us through this most challenging journey of parenting. What he brings to us now, we should listen very closely because in this day and age, parenthood is the toughest thing ever, especially with the challenges of artificial intelligence and social media. Uh, Brother Hamisa is an international consultant in education and human development. Assalamu alaikum and welcome, Brother Idris.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you?
I'm okay, Alhamdulillah. And how are you?
I'm wonderful.
Shukr.
Okay.
Okay. Um, to start off our interview, okay, first and foremost, I'm very excited to be speaking to you because Alhamdulillah, I feel like you make such a great impact in the world with the fundraising, motivating, and all of that. So uh, I am very grateful to be on this platform to be able to be speaking with you. And
I don't worry. I'm an easygoing, humble guy, and I don't regard myself as a celebrity, but you doing whatever we can, inshallah, to earn Allah's pleasure. Yes.
Alhamdulillah, because having grown up at an orphanage myself, I
Mm.
think I have even greater appreciation for the work that you do. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Okay. So,
Alhamdulillah.
brother, in your work with human development, what do you see as the greatest spiritual threat facing children growing up today in today's hyper-connected world?
I think what has happened is that children are very distracted. We find there are things that are always interfering with their presence. They lack calmness. They're not able to focus on one thing at a time. The social media and all those games, whatever, has also impinged on their attention span. They find very, very difficult to focus on a task. The power of self-discipline is gone. If you ask them to sit for a while in a particular position, after 2 minutes, they become restless. They cannot do it any longer. I mean, there was a test that took place some years ago. It's called the marshmallow test, in which children about 4 or 5 were put into cubicles, and the person who was doing the experiment said to them, "I'll give you a marshmallow, and I'll be back just now. Those of you who do not eat the marshmallow, I'll give you a bigger marshmallow as your prize." Many of them, within a few minutes, ate the marshmallow. They could not handle it. And, and they followed these young boys and girls, but 14 years later, when they were around 18,
Yes.
those children who indulged in instant gratification, who wanted it now and ate the marshmallow now, many of them did not do too well at school. They had issues with relationships, they had discipline issues, they were not focused. What we found, however, is that those children that did not eat the marshmallow but had delayed gratification, they showed greater stability. They were not prone to acts of delinquency. They did well at the school. So the whole thing is this, that you got to ensure that you create an environment at home where children grow up when there is a noise, where there is calmness, there is no shouting and screaming. And when you are able to engage with them on a one-to-one basis. And one of the most effective ways that parents can do that is to lead by example. What do I mean? Is when you are eating, you focus on the meal. You every morsel you thank Allah for it. When you are talking to your children, you are not distracted by anything else. Focus on them. When you are praying your salah, do not allow outside thoughts to interfere with your concentration, and so on and so forth. When you're even having a shower, enjoy your shower, focus on the shower. In that way, you'll find it will be incredible how children grow up in an environment when they are able to focus, to be present, to be spiritually connected. And when you talk about spiritual connection, it's about those individuals, even amid the noise and the turbulence around them, they exude an aura of peace, of calmness. They do not get agitated. They surrender to Allah. And that's a very, very significant thing. And
Okay.
today our minds go everywhere.
Gee, gee. No, that's valuable advice, alhamdulillah, making sure that discipline is there and leading by example. So many parents feel like they are competing with screens for their children's attention. How can they reclaim influence without becoming too authoritarian?
I think what's important is the fact that we are unwittingly incubating monsters in our own home. And if you have done that, you see, you got to understand that the mobile, the phone, or whatever, is not a babysitter. What you are really doing when kids are exposed to it at a 10-day age, it has a psychological impact, a huge psychological impact on their minds. As someone said, one writer, the generation of today is an anxiety generation. The children are more worried about the virtual friends and world than the reality around them. Their needs have become wants have become the needs. So what needs to be done is, Islam is about gradualism. I do not want you now go home and say, you know what, I'm going to take all these, media
Self
things away and whatnot. I'm going to confiscate it. No, you do it through gradualism. And what we do is to create three things. One is a family routine. And in that routine, there is a place for these gadgets. But it must be done, in a way where it is not time consuming, little bit of time regarding that. The second thing is this: parents must also learn to say no. In giving our children what we did not have, we have forgotten to give them what we had. So the whole thing is to develop a family routine. Very important. The second thing that needs to be developed are called family values. What are values? For example, values are when we speak, we listen with empathy. We are gentle. We do not interrupt. We have eye contact. We surrender to Allah. And when you do these things from a young age, when children are malleable and they're receptive, we need to do that. But once you leave it too late, it becomes even more difficult. Now, all of this can be done how? When parents are examples. Now, I often say this, that parenting is not so much your relationship with your child, but it is your relationship with your spouse.
Yes.
And in that relationship, when there is mutual respect, there is no screaming. When you disagree, you're not disagreeable. You're not rude. You understand? Children grow up because parents are the first peers of children, and children mimic adult behavior. And they say an apple doesn't fall too far from the tree.
Yes.
What we have to do is to teach our children delayed gratification. Because if kids do not learn about delayed gratification, it'll be difficult for them to understand the hereafter. For them, the world is now. I want it now. My friends have it. I want it now. And once you say no to your children, it is not enough to say no. It's important to explain to them why you're saying no. They might get angry at that time, but as they grow older, they'll appreciate it. I mean, now that my mom and dad are late, may Allah grant all our parents the highest status in Jannah. When we look back at things that we might have found difficult to accept, now we are adults, we appreciate it. We appreciate the fact that when they said no, it came from a good place, a place of love, a place of concern. So that is very important.
It is. It really is. Jazakallah khair for that. And in that response alone, there was so much for us to learn, both as parents and as children. Alhamdulillah. So
Amen.
for now, we're going to go to an ad break, and we will continue our interview with Brother Edriss. Do stay tuned, inshallah.
Salam Media, your spiritual companion this Ramadan.
World-class financial services only at Sapphire Global, your financial partner. If you are looking for Islamic Sharia and ethical financial products, look no further. Sapphire Global offers a wide range of financial service offerings from short-term to life and investments. A full-service center with all financial requirements under one brand. Our highly skilled and experienced consultants are ready to help protect your financial future. Contact us on 041 001 0184 or visit our website on www.sapphireglobalfs.com. Sapphire Global is an authorized financial services provider.
Discover the Africa of your dreams and surround yourself with her spectacular beauty. Relax beneath her serene sunsets and explore wildlife at its natural best. It's where the pride of Africa comes together. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve. Get to know the Big Five or cruise on an elephant safari game drive. Interact with lion and tiger cubs and enjoy world-class halal cuisine while we pamper you during your 5-star stay. Indulge in the true African experience. For reservations, call now on 042-203-1400 or visit kwantu.co.za. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve, the place of gathering.
Kids these days are smart, and when you're competing for their attention against their smartphones, you need to make smart choices, like using Sunfoil triple refined pure sunflower oil in every meal you make. It's naturally cholesterol-free and approved by the Heart and Stroke Foundation as part of a balanced eating plan. So whether you're cooking, frying, or baking, you get the great tasting results that'll get their attention faster than the latest app. And if that doesn't work, change the Wi-Fi password. Sunfoil. Now we're cooking.
Freedom Stationery supply Marlin and Marlin Kids pens to me and my school friends. They supply just about everything we need to help us get a better education. From books to files to rulers. In fact, any any accessory we need. Freedom Stationery. Education for the nation. What does accessory mean?
You are listening to Salam Media live from our headquarters in South Africa. This is Salam Media, keeping you company this Ramadan.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to the mid-morning talk with me, Sadia Ransedi. On the interview, okay, as we had started earlier, we are having an interview with Brother Edriss Khamissa, who is sharing some very useful nuggets for us to use in parenting. Welcome back, brother.
Alhamdulillah, good to be back.
Jazakallah. Okay, so when we speak about spiritually grounded children, what does that practically look like in behavior, mindset, and emotional maturity?
Yeah, when a person is spiritually grounded, is a person who understands life's perspectives, is a person that is not seduced or enticed by things around them, is a person that lives consciously and with intentionality. And that makes a big difference. You find that today it's very easy for people in the media and so on and so forth, through music, through colors, to seduce the hearts of young people, right? And what happens when a person is spiritually grounded, it is antithetical to materialism. Materialism. They also have what are called priorities. They know what is important and what is urgent. So a person that is spiritually grounded is a person that is happy, is satisfied with whatever Allah offers. He surrenders completely to Allah and will not allow disappointments to impact or impinge on his relationship with Allah. He's always happy and he's grateful. As Sheikh Hamza Yusuf mentioned, and I want to repeat this, when you show gratitude to Allah, Allah will give you more reasons to be grateful. And when you show ingratitude, Allah will give you more reasons to be ungrateful. So I think that is important, because we are living at a time where our young boys and girls are bludgeoned by the media 24 hours a day. So what do we need? We need children that when they say they are spiritually grounded, they are intrinsically motivated, they have self-discipline, they have priorities, they have aspirations, they have ambition, they are ummatically conscious, they are selfless, they are humble, and they have a generosity of heart. And that is important. And they also understand the power of silence. They understand the power of words. They also understand in terms of your emotional intelligence. So I think it is very, very important for us to understand all of these things.
Okay. Okay. Earlier, brother mentioned the leading by example. So, what role does modeling play? And can children develop strong spiritual identities if parents themselves are inconsistent?
You know what happens? This is the critical thing. The most pivotal, powerful influences over a child is parents. Therefore, when you speak about the 3 stages in a child's development, the first 7 years is the time of bonding, where children learn through the eyes. They watch their parents. It's a time of bonding. That foundation is met. From 7 to 14 is a time of instruction, discipline, and learning. And after 14, you become the child's confidant. And that's an important aspect. So it is important. Like today's parents are often glib and they blame everyone else for what the children are doing. I say, no, my friend, you got to accept responsibility. You cannot, and parenting there's no such thing as remote control parenting. Especially today in the nuclear family that we are living in, there was a time they said it takes a whole village to bring up a child. But today we do not have that kind of relationships with people around us, our neighbors, the uncles and aunts. So therefore, the mother and father play a very, very critical role in presenting to our children, to our innocent children, Islam in a beautiful way, in a world that is becoming growingly godless and ugly.
Jazakallah for that. So how can parents have meaningful conversations about identity purpose, and morality without sounding preachy or disconnecting from their children's realities?
Firstly, they must connect with them by hugging, by being expressive of their love, their affection. Right? This is an important thing. If that, right, that's why they say to correct a child, you need to connect with the child. And that's a very important thing. You cannot sermonize, pontificate, and lecture. And you think that will, and if you shout and scream, you'll not get commitment, but you'll get compliance. And the same kids would rebel afterwards. So, and I often say this, all children require the 6 A's. They need to be accepted, they need to be affirmed, they need to be acknowledged, they need to be appreciated, they need to be given affection, and they need to be given attention. All these things are very, very critical. Once you do that, once there is that connection, when the child is not only loved, but feels that love, then it makes a huge difference. In that way, they'll be far more receptive and amenable to the suggestions their parents make.
Okay, Jazakallah. Like we live in a world where peer pressure it doesn't have to be as pressurizing, but it's something that is easily happening. So how do we build resilience so that our children are not easily swayed by peer pressure, online trends, and the shifting cultural values?
I think the critical aspect is the most effective antidote to negative peer pressure is to ensure that your children have a healthy self-esteem. And self-esteem is to recognize you're a unique creation of Allah, that the person is not necessarily better than you, but he is different from you. And how do you develop children's self-esteem? Firstly, you spend time with them, you play with them, you love them, you hug them, you love the mother of the child, you make sure the children feel safe, they are in a safe environment. You connect them to Allah. You also remind them of their uniqueness and also give them what are called positive attributes to tell them. Psychologists have said 85% of things we tell children are negative. Only 15% are positive. We should change it around, make 85 of the things positive and 15% negative. And what is important to give children what are called positive attributes. In other words, you tell them, Muhammad or Aisha or whatever, inshallah, someday you're going to be a leader. You have wonderful qualities, my girl, my son, you're going to be a leader. I believe in you. Daddy and mommy are always going to be around here for you, And so I think these are very, very important things because you find children with high self-esteem do not succumb to peer pressure. They are humble. They have a generosity of heart. They do not have a victim mentality. They are not people that are control freaks. They do not blame the circumstances. But if you've got low self-esteem, you are suspicious, you have a victim mentality, you blame your circumstances, and you are, you're an individual who will never accept responsibility for your life. And you grow up with the attitude of entitlement that other people owe you a living.
Okay. Jazakallah, this was so purposeful, alhamdulillah. And in our very last question is, if a parent feels that they've already lost ground due to years of distractions or weak boundaries, what restorative steps can they begin to take and immediately to restore this?
Of course, the first thing, they need to turn to Allah. And secondly, they need to connect with the children. And the connection is very, very important. They need to apologize and to say, okay, let us start a brand new page. Let us do that. And you got to show that you have changed. You're a changed individual. You are different, right? And in that way, that will inspire confidence. If you have never hugged them before, begin to hug them, begin to love them, and say, I made mistakes, I'm learning, I love you, I'll always be here for you. And inshallah, Allah will melt the hearts of those individuals. If you're a person that might have been authoritative, then you change your parenting style. If you have been a person that have been very draconian and not given them any confidence, you begin to change this, inshallah, it will make a difference.
Inshallah. Well, alhamdulillah, personally, I've learned a lot just in this short interview. And sadly, our time has come to an end for this interview. And we are very grateful, Brother Edriss, for sharing all of that. And we will do by all means to apply it in our lives in order to improve our relationship with our children, alhamdulillah.
No, inshallah, you go well. May you and the listeners of Salam Media have a wonderful Ramadan. May Allah bless you, and may our homes become sanctuaries, not a place of struggle and contestation. Jazakumullah. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. So we will be going to another ad break now. And when we come back, we'll speak to another impactful woman within the communities that she has engaged with. And her name is Apa Fatima Khwele. Most of the Salam Media listeners already are familiar with her. So we will catch you after the break.